Hello, everyone. This is the most intelligent and magnificent bird, Beak, speaking to you today. And in today's video, like I normally do every week, I'll be going over the calendar in this calendar review. And not only that, but I'm also going to be sharing some middle game spoilers from the game The Quarry. But don't worry, I'll be doing that once I go over the calendar, so I'll definitely let you guys know when, if you want to go, you can go ahead and go, because after I go over the calendar, like I did last week, I will be diving into, at this point, heavy spoilers, because a lot, what I have written down, I actually had to put these notes in a binder so I wouldn't lose them. I'll definitely be going over chapters 2 through 5, but I have a lot written down. But anyway, we'll get to that when we get to that point of the video. And before we get started, I hope all of you are doing good and staying safe out there. I'm doing good and I'm staying safe for the most part. And as of this recording, it is Sunday, so war is still happening for the next, I want to say the next 12 to 10 hours, maybe a little more, maybe a little less at this point, or war might be over, just depending on when this gets uploaded on Sunday for sure. And like I said, enough has happened in the Quarry where, I have a lot written down here, and for those that want to stay after the calendar review, you're in for a treat. But anyway, enough of that for now. Let's actually get to the calendar. And excuse me for 1 second. We will actually begin. Hang on 1 second, guys. Sorry about that, guys. I actually that was my alarm clock going off. Anyway, now we can officially begin. Alright. First up on the agenda, we have a faction level up tournament that will be starting up later today on Sunday, June 26th. And that will be until Tuesday, June 28th. Then we have a faction survival road tournament that will be starting tomorrow on Monday, June 27th. And that will be until Wednesday, June 29th. Then we have a solo level up tournament that will be starting up on Tuesday, June 28th. And that will be until Thursday, June 30th. Then we have a solo raid tournament that will be starting on Wednesday, June 29th. And that will be until Friday, July the 1st. Then we have another solo level up tournament that will be starting up on Thursday, June 30th. And that will be until Sunday, July 3rd. And then we have the continuation of War Reforged until next Friday, July the 8th. So we still have another week left left for that to go. Then we still have the continuation of the Outlanders Mythic trial until July 28th, so we still have like pretty much 4 more weeks left for that to go, if not a little more. Then we still have the continuation of the Mythic Battle Pass Season 13, and that will be, again, about another 3-4 weeks until July the 21st. And to close out the week, we have a brand new event called We Can Do It, starting Thursday, June 30th, and that will be until Tuesday, July 5th. So I'm guessing that's probably a premium event because, like, look how short, you know what I mean? How short the event is. I'm guessing that's a premium. If not, that would be an awful short free-to-play event for sure. And, yeah. And there's a reason I didn't do a rating with me video last week. As some of you know, or maybe all of you know at this point, I went in on the very last rating tournament to get first place so I could get the baby Brutus avatar. And he's too cute to pass up on. Well, I mean, it's too late now, but at the time I was like, you know what? I had to. He was too cute to pass on, so I had to get him. And I will be having a rating with me video this week. I can assure you, definitely, Wednesday, Thursday, something like that. And now is the time, if you want to go ahead and go to avoid spoilers for the Corey, now is the time to go ahead and go. And for those that want to go ahead and leave now, I do thank each and every one of you for stopping by. Your support is very much appreciated. Now, in 3, 2, 1. Okay, there's maybe 1 or 2 details I forgot to mention last time. One of them is going to be pretty important as to what I'm going to be talking about. So I'm going to be talking about chapters 2 through 5, but I have a lot here. Not a whole lot happens in chapter 2, but more happen through chapters 3 through 5. So, last time I had mentioned there were these 2 hunters scoping out the camp. One little important detail I forgot to mention is they have jars of blood with them, and both of them use the jars of blood and they just smear it all over their face. And at this time, I'm guessing that why they're doing that is to mask their scent or a form of camouflage. That's my only guess. I'm not sure exactly as to why they're doing it just yet, but my guess is to mask their smell, to hide their smell, and a form of camouflage. And this ghostly figure in the prologue is supposedly the Hag of Hackett's Quarry. So there's like a story about her and all of that. But anyway, the part with the hunters I thought was important to bring up. Now, let me actually get to the chapters. Okay, chapter 2. The counselors get the stuff to build a bonfire, and they play a game of truth or dare, which ends up with Emma. She's dared to either kiss Jacob or Nick. She chooses to kiss Nick, which that upsets Abigail. She goes running off in one direction, and that upsets Jacob, and he runs off in one direction. And that pretty much leads into chapter 3. Yeah, not a whole lot for chapter 2. Like I said, now we're getting into the real juicy stuff, starting with chapter 3. You guys are in for a treat. All right. And I do apologize if I forget any details, but I think I got most of them here jotted down. Okay, chapter 3. Nick goes after and finds Abigail in the woods. They talk and all of that, and they hear a noise, and Nick goes a little bit ahead of Abigail, and Nick gets attacked by a werewolf. Yes, so we're dealing with werewolves, and I think that's really awesome. We definitely got more to talk about with these werewolves, but anyway, Nick gets attacked by this werewolf out of nowhere. We don't get a good look at this particular werewolf, and I apologize if you hear noise in the background. That's Coco. But anyway, let's get back to this werewolf. This werewolf really messes Nick up, and if you make the right choices, then Abigail will make it back to the others at the bonfire. If you don't, I assume that werewolf just takes her out. So, I don't know. I did make the right choices. Abigail was able to make it back. Okay. Emma finds Jacob at this boathouse, and I'm sorry for the interruption. I'll be right back. Come on. Sorry about that. That was Harley scratching at my door. Okay, now let's get back to Emma finding Jacob. Okay, Emma finds Jacob at the boathouse. They talk, and they decide to go for a swim. Then Jacob hears Abigail screaming. So this is where I feel like a pretty important choice has to be made. You can either run after Abigail, or before that, they purposely show that the rotor arm that Jacob took off the minivan earlier, it's floating in the water, and so you have a choice to either dive in after the rotor arm or to run after Abigail. I chose to run after Abigail, and I'm sure later on that's going to come back and bite me in the ass, because if you do that, the rotor arm is gone for good. Oh well, hey, I'm going to replay it again, so I just want to see what kind of... I just got to wonder if losing that rotor arm is going to have major consequences for later on in the game. It probably will, knowing my luck, but hey, these games have replay value. But anyway, okay. Yeah, that's what I was mentioning. Depending on your choice, you can either lose the rotor arm, which that happened to me, so we'll definitely see what happened. Okay. Abigail makes it back to the rest of the group to inform the others about what happened to Nick. So Ryan decides to take the shotgun that Emma found and to go search for Nick. If you're quick enough about it, you can get to Nick being dragged away by one of the two hunters. You have the choice to shoot the hunter or do nothing, or just let the timer run out. I didn't want to risk hitting Nick in the process, so I didn't do anything. I just let the timer run out. And if you let that happen, Nick will bite the hunter's finger, only for the hunter to immediately to shoot his own finger off. And both Ryan and Nick are able to get back just fine. And now we're going to pick back up with Jacob. Jacob is running through the woods, and he steps on a rope that hangs him upside down, and that very same hunter with the recently missing finger cuts Jacob down. And based on your choice here, he is getting ready to pull something out of his, I guess he's got a bag, or no, he's got a pocket or something in his overalls. But anyway, you can either choose to do nothing, or you can throw dirt in his face. I chose to do nothing to see what would happen, and he pulls out one of those jars of blood and he just pours it on Jacob's face, and he says something on the lines of, I know it tastes bad, or I know it looks bad, but it'll help you out, or something like that. So, I honestly don't think that the hunters are, I don't think they're the main villains. I'm guessing they're not, but how they're going about it, they could explain stuff better, you know what I mean? But they do look very suspicious for sure, but I don't think they're meaning harm intentionally. It's a weird situation happening, and they're acting very shady for sure. Now let's get back to Ryan and Nick. Okay, both Ryan and Nick get back safely. No, we already went through that. Okay. Alright, now, okay, that's pretty much how chapter 3 ends. Okay, here we go. We are at the beginning of chapter 4. Back at the bonfire, Nick is explaining his experience in the woods, and they all hear a noise in the bushes, and depending on your choices, as Ryan, you can shoot at the bush, but it just ends up being Jacob coming back to the camp. So I didn't want to do that, just because I knew, excuse me, I didn't want to do that only because I knew it possibly could be Jacob, and we could have potentially killed one of our counselors, you know what I mean? So I didn't do anything, and it ended up being the right choice, because it was just Jacob coming through the bushes. And once he gets back and he's wondering what's going on, he realizes that he left Emma all by herself back at the boathouse in the heat of the moment. So he decides to go back that way for Emma. And then we're going to get to Emma here, because this is where it gets pretty good. Emma gets done with swimming, and she decides to go explore just all throughout the camp. And she finds this tree house. She goes in the tree house. Something is banging on the attic door. So she decides to open the attic door. Well, you do get a choice between searching this bag and just immediately opening the trap door. But either way, she's going to open the trap door. I just searched the bag first. And what do you know? She lets out another werewolf that was trapped in there. And guys, when I say that these werewolf designs, they are cool. They are cool as shit, man. They are really freaking cool. Especially their eye colors. Let's see. Well, you know what? The one werewolf that attacked Nick, we don't actually get a good look at him yet. Although we could later on. I'm not sure. So, the werewolf is now chasing Emma throughout the structure of the tree house. And if we make the right choices here, Emma will end up back in the tree house and in the attic. Abigail, now let's get back to the others. Abigail, Dylan, Caitlin, Nick, and Ryan go to the lodge to see if they can get help for Nick, to help him where he got attacked by the werewolf. And then that's when Dylan and Ryan decide to go to the radio hut to see if they can send a message out for help. Emma successfully escaped the werewolf for now, and that's pretty much how how chapter 4 ends. Okay, now we're going to get to chapter 5. And this is the last bit of it I have wrote down for now. Okay. Abigail, Caitlin, and Nick hear a noise upstairs. Caitlin goes to check it out. It's the same hunter with the recently missing finger looking for the counselors to what they call blooded them, which is essentially just pour blood on their faces from the jars of blood like he did with Jacob earlier. For whatever reason, I don't know, other than it might be to help mask their scent or to camouflage them. I have no idea. But anyway, okay, depending on your choices, all three of them, Abigail, Caitlin, and Nick, will get out of there without being seen, and they are headed to where Dylan and Ryan are going to. Dylan and Ryan find the radio hut. Dylan starts sending a message out only for the two hunters to immediately pick up the radio frequency, so they now know where Dylan and Ryan are. Next thing you know, you hear one of the werewolves on the roof of the radio hut trying to get in after them, using the PA system to warn Abigail, Caitlin, and Nick, because Ryan sees them three heading their way. So he uses the PA system to warn them three to go hide in a cabin nearby, which they do. And Dylan comes up with the idea to use the PA system for a really loud feedback loop to scare it away. And as Dylan is reaching up to, the werewolf rips the wire to the PA system, so Dylan has to reach up to fix the PA system. And as he's reaching up to do that, the werewolf busts through the roof. He grabs Dylan and bites his hand so bad, and he lets him go. And you can just see that the infection is just spreading through his arm really quickly. So you have a choice, either to use the shotgun or the chainsaw to deal with his hand. I honestly don't know how good a shotgun would do in that situation. So I just used the chainsaw and I, dealt with his hand. As simple as that, and it seemed like it saved his life, which, hey, I honestly don't want any of these counselors to bite the dust, but I don't know, some of them might bite the dust. And anyway, the PA system is fixed, and they're able to use the feedback loop to scare the werewolf away from the area after the damage is done from Dylan's hand. So how it ends is they all get out, not out of the camp, but out of that situation. And next thing you know, you see this mysterious woman with an eye patch, and it looks like she killed someone. Someone was running real quickly, and it looks like she had shot someone, and they ended up in the camp's pool. And that's where it pretty much ends off at. And so Abigail, Dylan, Caitlin, Nick, and Ryan are all at the camp pool. Jacob is running throughout the woods looking for Emma. And Emma is MIA at the moment, but she is still alive. And I definitely have more to talk about, which we will do in another video because I feel like this video is longer than it definitely should be. And next time, I think I'll talk about just chapters 6 and 7 only, because there's definitely enough in both of those chapters for sure, just to talk about those two chapters separately by themselves. And that's pretty much going to do it for this one. I want to thank each and every one of you for stopping by and for your continued support. Or if you're new, welcome in for the first time. All of you are very awesome, and I thank you again. And don't forget to hit the bell and switch on all notifications so you know the second I upload to YouTube. And seriously, I really am loving the Corey so much. I definitely, I'm having a damn good time. I really am. For me, it's definitively the game of this year. Game of the year for 2022. And I am Buck Beak, and I'm gonna go fly away back to my nest. Until next time, bye guys.